It's my privilege and honor to introduce to this evening Nolan, 100 mile an hour, Schoonveld. Please come on.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction. I am so excited to be here. I am sure so many of you have been able to talk with people, and so many thoughts are going in your head, and you want to get everything out in the time that you have, and then you're interrupted, and then all of a sudden, these things happen, and my mind is spinning already, and I'm thinking about things. But let's just take a moment to relax. Let's take a moment to talk a little bit about ourselves. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about leadership, what success is, development, and I'm sure many of you guys probably do these things in your daily job. You guys probably already have heard the things that I say, and you're probably going to forget a lot of what I talk about tonight. That's okay. My goal is to provide perspective to you here today about some specific things that I feel are very important and learning from my baseball career and what I've been able to do. I want to talk to you today about the notion of what success really is. I think about, and some of you might be watching the game tonight, the World Series. And if you're not a baseball fan, I want you to picture this moment in your head. 50,000 people will be in Houston, Texas tonight, watching a man named Garrett Cole step on a mound, and millions more watching him on TV, and he will throw a baseball 100 miles an hour at a batter whose only job is to stand there and get a hit. Again, if you're not a baseball fan or you have never played the game of baseball, it's hard for you to understand what it's like for a 100-mile-an-hour pitch to be coming at you. But in our minds, we find that there are so many things moving, and the people around us, the drivers out there that are driving 100 miles an hour past you, those things that happen in your life all move so fast, and we're not able to capture that true moment of what it is to be moving at 100 miles an hour. The man, Garrett Cole, who's going to step on the mound tonight, is the most relaxed person I have ever watched, yet he makes the game look so easy. And have played in my life and understanding that it's such a difficult task to achieve when playing baseball. But I want to get back to talking about what that success is. When I watch him and I feel like he's able to do it very well, I feel like he's not worried about what other people think about him. I feel like the success of being somebody who wants to achieve something or wants a job that gives them the status and the promotion, and they want the money and they want these things, well, they're not doing it for themselves. And maybe we feel this pressure that we aren't as good as people expect us to be. But success isn't about what other people think of you. Success is about what you think of yourself. There shouldn't be a monetary value that you put on success. There shouldn't be a professional designation that you put on success. And I feel like many of us in this room have been able to do that. We feel very, very, very confident in our abilities and what we do in our job. I think there are a couple of things that play into what success can be. And I think what we're doing here tonight is extremely important. We build relationships with people. I think that's one of the most important things when we're thinking about how we can be successful in ourselves, is we have a close-knit group of people who we can turn to in situations where we feel like we need them. When I was on the baseball field, I always had one or two teammates that I could go to in a situation where I felt stressed out or I couldn't perform at the level that I wanted to perform at. And I could go to them and I could say, what am I doing wrong? Take me back one step. Allow me, help me get to a point where I can get back to being myself. I find that when I go into the business world, we think about these things. We need that one or two people in the office to help us with those things. And maybe it's your business and you're the only employee. and you have a family member that's able to help you do that. Those relationships that we build are so important to the success of who we are. But you have to be able to have one or two people. I think there's also a definition of success in being content versus being satisfied in what you do. You know, you use the word content and you think that it means you're done. There is no more. But think about it this way. Being content isn't being done with something. It's being happy with what you've accomplished so far. There is no looking at the past. There is no looking at the present. It's allowing yourself to develop who you are inside of you and being happy with that. There is nothing more, nothing less. The feeling of being satisfied and fulfilled comes from you and within. For me, I was able to do this through sports and enjoy that every single day when I was out on the field, until I couldn't anymore. When I had to hang up the cleats because I felt that injuries and pressure and everything that came with the game of baseball took me to a spot where I wasn't as happy as I should have been. And that's why I went and wanted to do other things with my life. There's also this feeling of, and I'm sure we've all been there, never giving up. You know, of course I didn't want to give up the game of baseball. It's what I knew my entire life, but it was time. I tell this story and I think it's interesting. There was a young entrepreneur, and he was a good businessman. He knew what he was doing. He was confident, so he wanted to start a business. So he started this company called 3UP. And 3UP was successful. 3UP did very well until it didn't, and 3UP failed. He said, you know what, I'm not giving up. I'm going to start 4UP. And 4UP did well. 4UP was okay, but again, it failed. And 5UP, same exact thing. So he said, I'm going to give it another shot. I got this right now. This is my chance. 6UP. Same thing. 6UP failed. So he decides to go to his counterpart, his competitor, Coca-Cola. And along came a man who started a company called 7UP. And 7UP was successful. I tell that story because he gave up. He didn't continue on, right? It's funny. You guys can laugh. Like it's okay. I'm not a very good comedian. It's not my strong suit.
That's funny.
Thank you. I appreciate the pity laugh. But right. So when we go back to the conversation about success, and we all here in this room believe it, we don't want to give up on our dream, but somewhere along the line, somebody told us that we can't do something. My ACL surgery, that happened to me. I was told that I could no longer play and things weren't going to go my way. People told me that I couldn't do it, and I wanted to prove them wrong, and that's all that I had in my mind, and put me in a mindset that I felt so confident in that I could achieve my goals, and I didn't let anybody else give me some sort of satisfaction in quitting. That's what I truly believe, and I hope that you in your life have faced some sort of adversity like that and understood that it's okay to feel like you can't do something. Because the only person that can tell you that you can is yourself. Another thing that I want to talk about tonight is being present in the moment. No matter what you do, and again, it goes back to the conversation of somebody else telling you something. Maybe you have these expectations of what you think your future should look like or your past. But in the end of the day, I think we can all agree, we're going to die. So dwelling on the past and thinking about the future, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think of you in your past and what you've done or what you think will affect your future. There's only one moment that you can live in, and that's the present. If you allow yourself to focus in on little specific details of what you are doing in the moment, you can bring yourself more success. Again, don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself, nobody else. I talked about a little bit already, but there's this feeling of fulfillment and happiness that we try to achieve in our lives. We try to feel like we are we are so good at what we do, and it makes us feel happy, and then somebody tells us that we can't do it, right? And we go there and let's say we start a job, for example. We start this great job, and everything's going well. And all of a sudden, somebody tells us that, this isn't exactly what you have to do during your daily tasks. And it changes, and things shift for you. And you decide to quit, and you decide to give up. And you go on to something else. Was it really worth it for you to go through that experience? Yes. Was it something that helped you learn? And I hope it did. But when you put yourself in a situation and you focus in on what you're doing, and you feel fulfilled, and you feel happy in your life, and you enjoy everything that you do, you can achieve that level of happiness for yourself that I want to help you get to. There's this glamour in what people think baseball is. And you'll see it if you watch the game tonight. The flashing lights, the people, kids wanting autographs from you. I always tell the story that when I signed to baseball, it became worth less than what it was before. Because these kids didn't know my name, but they had this dream. They have this dream, right? They have this dream of believing that they can too be there. When I was about 10, 11 years old, I stepped on the mound of an amateur baseball game in Madison, Wisconsin. My dad had these tickets that allowed me to throw out the first pitch, so he gave them to me. And I went up there, I was 10 years old, thought I was going to get drafted by these guys if I made this pitch. Stepped up there, threw the pitch, and threw it right over the guy's head. Went right to the backstop. And I think about that moment because there was thousands of people watching that game, and I was 10 years old, and I wanted to impress people. 10 years old, right? And I flash forward about 9 years, I got that chance to be on that team and watch that 10-year-old throw a first pitch at a game. I got that opportunity to see myself there. And I thought about it. I didn't even realize that it was happening, but I had achieved what I told myself I could. And that was so cool to me that I got that opportunity, but it relates to baseball. And that's for me, it was extremely helpful. So what I want you to get out of this is realizing that what you do in your life might not be baseball or sports related, might not be business related, it might not be personal relationship related, but what you do is all that matters. What you go out and do tomorrow in the workplace is all that matters. Focus in on the things that make you happy and enjoy your life. Focus in on the things that allow yourself to feel fulfilled in the work that you do. And I want to finish with the fact that you guys are here listening to me talk about something. But again, you guys are here for yourselves. You guys are here to better yourself and create relationships with people and enjoy your life. So let's make the remainder of the night fun. Let's build some great relationships, and let's continue to enjoy our lives.